welcome to this webinar once again, like every Thursday. And today we're going to see a sales order processing, creating documents for your sales operations and for the company here. Now I have the Business Central client where we are going to be practicing today. In this demo environment, I'm working for the company that is called Kronos USA. And let's go directly to the function. This session will take more or less 1 hour. And the idea is that we'll be working in the process while we are actually just recording the session. At the end, I'm going to give you my email. And if you have questions, please just let me know at any moment. Raise your hand in the chat. So let's just now start. As well, the sales order processing has some specific features in Business Central where we are going to be working with offers. Sometimes we don't have items in inventory, but we could offer substitutes. As well, we have other type of operations where we can just verify the inventory for our customers with the customer product ID, not only our internal number series for the document that we manage. So, well, the idea is that we're going to be reviewing what is the actual process and the features that Business Central give us to actually work with the sales order processing. For that, I'm going to just open now an item card as an example. Let's just verify here. The idea is that, let me just show you one of our items that we're going to actually just sell. And let's just verify. Here I have, let me just check one of my items. Okay. By the way, we can just pictures. I have plenty of different type of items. And okay, let's just check. For instance, I have the Berlingas Church Yellow or Amsterdam Lamp. Let's just work with this one. Okay, this is one of our items. We have different type of items that we can sell: inventory, service, and non-inventory. We cannot sell it because that will be the items that we have, let's say, in our office, like papers or printer cartridges and so on. So I have this type of item. Currently, I have 8 items. They are measured in pieces, and well, you can see here the picture. Very good. So the quantity on hand will be always available. So we have 8 at this point, and we can see the entries. And we need to purchase because at this point, we don't see that in any of our warehouses that for our demo, they are in colors, okay? We don't have this item, so let's just verify in order to purchase it, and then we are gonna sell it. But when we purchase, it happens that, well, you are gonna be creating an item here, but it's the idea is that we are either customers and vendors. They don't use our internal numbers that we have in the system. Plus, we have barcodes, we have vendor item number, customer item number. So what do we do and how do we work with that? Okay, so I want to show you just some of the ideas that we have. First of all, we have variants. Variants are it's the same item, but let's say that you sell with different colors, the same lamp, blue, yellow, red, etc. Right? So that's possible. And we are not saying that we have different items. So your database is not going to continue growing every time you identify a feature of an item. And actually, they are not different items. Just you manage the same cost, and sometimes you manage and you offer this item could offer independently of the variant of the color or the style, the same. You offer this item in different promotions. So the idea is that we don't maintain too many items, item IDs. Okay. Now I have one item identifier. In this case, this could be the that you see your own internal number if you have a printer, and let's just add it. This is a piece. Okay. And we could continue adding some other identifiers. Now, what else do we have here? Let me just show you. For our item, I could create a cross-reference. Why is this helping? Because well, my item internally is 1928-S, all right, -S, excuse me. But here we have the customer. Let's say this is a school of fine art. This is one of our customers actually that's happening here. But the cross reference or the way they are actually naming this item is Switzerland. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is just verify another type of customer that I have got here, and I'm just going to, let's say, choose Adatum Corporation. For this customer, this is a item lamp. Let me just change my language. 0000. Okay, so the idea is that you are offering, and with your customer, you need to ask while you are negotiating the sales operation for this specific lamp. Tell them, okay, we are gonna offer you this item. They review it, they can create the item, they know the item, and sometimes they are going to request you, right, this item, but they know the item, the database of theirs, lamp 000, okay, 001. Okay, so as well, they know this as pieces. All right, so some of the features for our customers, okay? We need to identify the numbers of our customers, and we can do so. So when they see the report of in a shipment or in an invoice, they can identify easily their own numbers. And believe me, that will be increasing a lot the service. Now, we as well have different type of operations that we have, like sales discounts. We could offer, let's say, to a customer discount group. We can group our customers. Let's just verify one of our customers discounts. And we, in this case, have discounts for large accounts or retail accounts, which are smaller clients. This is just an example, but in order to sell, you need to segment your clients. So you could offer different type of discounts. Let's just select the large one, and the minimum quantity to offer, if you purchase, this will be for a wholesaler, 20 units, I would offer immediately 10% discount, right? As well, you could select a starting and ending date. As well, some other customers would like to have, but we have those preferred customers sometimes, okay? So you could select all customers to offer a discount, a group of customers, offer a campaign with CRM connection. If you do not yet use CRM, I strongly recommend to review the functionality, because it's going to allow you to segment your customers, send emails, promotions, marketing ideas, or well, hierarchies even of different campaigns that you could create in order to actually just market your products. So we actually have the function to connect Business Central with your campaigns that you create. So this is the top of the art in terms of how we connect. Business Central is not an isolated type of system, right? All right, for me then, I would as well have the possibility to select one specific type of customer only if I wanted. So if you don't need at this point to change any other you could select that many type of customers have different type of discounts, and that's the idea. So well, as well, that's what I wanted to show at this point, when you have the specific discounts for different type of customers, of group of customers as well, and campaign related discounts. All right, now what I'm going to do is show you the purchasing prices. It's more or less, well, it's actually the same. Well, oh, sorry, I wanted to work with the sales. Sales, price discount. Okay, sales and prices and discounts. Okay, you could set special prices as well for some customers. It's just exactly the same as we did, but let's mention this. A customer and a special price is not the same. When I offer a discount, it's because I have already a price list that I have configured, but above or upon that, you would offer a discount when you want to promote something, and that would give you the discount at the end. If they, let's say, specify by your specification, they meet them or they match your criteria, so then you offer a discount. The idea is that you are promoting the items to be sold by this typical a way of working with the discounts. Now, a price is because you might be negotiating with different, you have a price list for this item, right? Let's just verify what was the price. Just to, before we sell the product, we have the unit cost 42.8. When I then just try to calculate what would be the selling price by generating a 22% discount, profit, excuse me, then I would have, if that's an internal rule, at least just, try to have 20% of profit. You could verify that, establish as a policy internally. I strongly always recommend to have a profit rule for your operation. And then, well, just by having that, the system gave me that I could sell it this for $54.9. This is something that I actually would define, let's say, like in a general way, right? Because in the reality, I never just work with this type of prices. I need to go and negotiate with my customers and verify that they, in order to proceed with the sales, well, as well, they understand what I'm doing. When I just proceed with the sale, how far my customer is, how often he will be purchasing, in which type of conditions or which type of item he will be purchasing. Let's say that this lamp is not oftenly sold. Well, I would like to get a special price for this customer because he's going to purchase it, right? And then, well, the idea of sometimes even for the prices is that for every customer or every group of customers, they have special price that will be completely different, affecting the actual profit. So, well, both discounts and prices will affect your profit, but in terms of what you do with the price, special price, is because you are negotiating with the customer, and then at the end, every customer can have a different price, even though we have 54.9, that will be my minimum type of rate. So I get 20% at least. So then my prices and discount can be set up. And knowing that 54 will be my lowest price, I would offer for all the customers, let's say a 60 unit price, okay? Because I know now my rule only in September, okay? Let's say because I will be working with that. For the other customers as well, I will be generating another price. And then for another, I would select another, let's see, for October. For another month, I will be selecting, oh, it's not actually selecting the date. Oh, 31st of October, sorry. Okay. There you go. So I'm just mentioning how it works with the actual procedure, okay? And here I would select 65. So the idea is that I will be changing my prices on a monthly basis if necessary. And that is going to actually help me to work normally with the sales procedures. So nothing else. So you need to understand some of the features that we have, so you can then start selling at this point. Now, if I just want to check some other features that we have, of course, we have substitutes, translation, extended text. What is this? First of all, the substitution. This is because sometimes I don't always have my lamps, okay? So if you run out of inventory, you would like to have a substitute or something. So we have the Amsterdam lamp, and I just would select another type of item, even if it's not related just for the demo. Okay, okay, another item, even if it's not related, because I know that I don't have two lamps at this point. But I would require sometimes to have item substitutions, all right? So you can select which items are similar according to the product that you are designing. These are just some features for the sales process. And well, I would like to then have substitutes. And then later we are going to see all of these when we actually sell. And at the end, I'm just going to as well verify that I have translations. So Amsterdam lamp, let's say that you offer for For a customer that is in a specific country, so we can have different languages that we can just select. I'm just going to add the description of the item, but in Spanish. So whenever you create an item that is from Latin America, in my case, I'm in Mexico, well, Business Central is going to actually print and select and get the documents for sales operations, meaning that you have a shipment and an invoice or prepayment invoices or returns from your customer, everything with using the translation, okay? So those features will be then just added, even though if our main Business Central system is in English. So that's it, all right? So, well, after this, I will be just having this sale item procedure. And for me, I'm just going to now open a sales order. By the way, we have different type of documents: sales quotes, sales orders, sales invoices. So let's verify a general process. I have a sales quote. I'm gonna click on new. And here I'm gonna select the customer. Let me show you what a sales quote is about. When I just actually speak with my customer, the quote is just a draft document that I would be using in order to start my negotiation. So I'm going to include the lamp now. Here, I have in the top the customer or header for the quotation. It's including the customer information. When I just recall the customer number, all the information also was copied into my sales quote. Now, here below, I have in this in the line section, well, the chance to add all the items that I would like to sell at this point, that for any of my customers as well. Well, we could add comments or prepare GL accounts or charges. Okay, so I would need to start here my quote. So I would then starting to have the negotiation, and I would then try to sell 20 items here. Okay, now you can see that my unit price is 54.90 at this point. So this is the starting negotiation. And well, what you would be doing at this point is that, well, first of all, verify, do you have available inventory? Okay, do you have a schedule to be received even from the same quote? You can verify all this information. Right, so I just wanted to show some of the fields. Now, what I'm going to do is just create a purchase order. So you can see how then everything is connected to the sales order. Let me just include, this is a purchase order not related to the training, just adding items in one of our warehouses. Let's just verify. Okay. Vendor invoice for my purchase, and then I'm going to buy 100 pieces. Okay, we have a direct unit cost, which when we are, remember, we have the 20% rule. So whenever I purchase, of course, well, this will be increasing my cost every time I purchase. Well, the vendor will be increasing and increasing every time because with the time, right? Okay, so I have placed a 100 units in one of my warehouses. Now I want to pause this information. Let's see. Or maybe the main warehouse. Just to avoid one validation that I received, I just change the warehouse. Let's verify. Okay, I have purchased actually one of my the item that I was showing. So now I have inventory in one of my warehouses. Let's just go back to the sales processing. Well, I just will need to select in my quote the warehouse where I actually purchased my items, right? So let's just now update the information. Let me refresh my page. Very, very. Okay. Now, when I'm quoting at this point, this item that I have mentioned, I have more information. First of all, well, I have a item availability 100 units. So you can see, do you have the item or not? We have a 360 view on our actual process. Now, you negotiate at this point the price. So with all the, oh, excuse me, this is another quote. Sales quotes. It's the last one. I have a connection issue for 1 second. Okay, it's in the main warehouse. Very good. Okay, first of all, the required quantity is 20 for my negotiation here, coming from the line, but as well, I have the item availability here. So when I start to sell, Business Central is going to tell me immediately if I have the item or no. This is 360 view. Okay. According to this, you can select when you're going to have availability by day, week, month, or quarter. So in the future, you're going to be able to see the actual item availability or quantity on hand in any of the warehouses. So you can see, well, because I purchased in the main warehouse in this example, well, you can see the schedule received, the projected available balance. So we are going to have a forecast projected balance. This is in relation to the actual date that I have ordered this item, right? So as well, if I order now, I know that I have availability, but when am I going to receive the payments? Well, you can negotiate that with your vendors. For me, at least for this quote, Business Central that is telling me that for at some specific point in time. So if I'm purchasing in July the 1st or 1 month later is the due date for the payment of this sales quote, you need to inform your actual customer. Okay, and why is that happening? We have some information while we are selling. Okay, the shipment date is the 31st of July, and then the payment terms as well are already set up from the customer or negotiated if you want it to be after 1 month, and you receive a 2% discount if you pay before 8 days. So as well, we have different type of payment terms. So you can select it and change it while you are negotiating with your customer, just as an example, right? And well, as well, I have a payment service. If well, this is a new type of function that we have where we can pay now with PayPal. I mean, standard procedures for any company are just to pay with credit card, cash, and so on, right? Even in the POS or if you are paying in the warehouse, whatever. But now we have the technology, and here I have showed the integration that we can just have a PayPal service. So if you have you have a PayPal account connected to Business Central, where you are actually going to be receiving the payments from your customers, and yes, you can inform now that will be a new payment method that we are going to use. I'm going to show that at the end. Just to mention it as well. Well, we have to mention where do you want your actual item. Okay, so we can define different addresses for our customers. In this case, we have 3: News Road, Park Road, and the main warehouse for this actual customer. So you can, while you negotiate, you can ask, where do you want this item? Okay, so we are just quoting at this point to get the general process and the general information just for this customer where we have this quotation. So how many units include this 1 unit of measure? Well, I'm selling actually inches, so it's 1-to-1. But if we are selling, let's say, pallets, or for the wholesale a client that you have, you sell your units, then it's going to tell you how many units inside your pallet you still have. So you can inform your customer. Then substitutions. Substitutions are related to the items where we don't have availability. We will be offering the substitute item, okay, just in case. But oh, by the way, I have in my main item availability, but my substitute doesn't have quantity in hand currently. So you can see whenever you have substitutes, I strongly recommend to design your items with this type of features. If you review now the special sales prices, well, we have for all customers in one specific month a special price of 60. Okay, so verify that, because we are generating here the minimum price for 54.
which is going to give us 54.9, 1,088 as a total for these 20 units. All right. So as well, the idea is that you generate special prices that will be lower just in case, but verify always that it's not affecting your profit. Okay. Unless you want to get rid of the item because you are not selling enough, well, you will be going down or below your policy for having a standard profit rule. Okay. Standardized profit rule. Okay, after this, what I would like to do, because I am negotiating at this point, I will be sending this quote after my negotiation to the customer. So we have the possibility to create a special email just to the contact actually of this customer. Okay, that will be including this email. All right, and we'll just show you this has as well special text. This is a sales quote for Sales Adapting Corporation, and here I have all the specific features of the sales procedure. Then I have the text. You remember the special payment description. Well, if you pay me after one month, you need to pay me after 1 month. But if you pay before 1 week, you are eligible for a 2% discount. Sincerely, my company. Okay, so this is all automated. You don't have to do anything else and just send the email. Everything prepared for you. And even you could attach or show, for instance, get documents, show the source. This is for the customer with a 1,000, 10,000, and we are creating a sales quote for this actual amount. So hopefully this is giving you an insight of the actual, I'm going to keep it as a draft, as an example. If you want to send it now, continue adding items. I wanted just to show you the actual function. If your customer is just there, just immediately create the quote. Nothing else. After this is actually being accepted, or your customer accepts these actual documents, well, you as well, just in any case, if he asks you about historical information, how many sales orders I have ongoing or quotes, you can see here my statistical information. How many shipments we have created, you can see, okay, this is a good customer or not. Or if he asks you, hey, I have credit memo or a return that I'm processing, can you just give me other information about other documents that I have ongoing, which always your customers are going to ask you about their documents they have. So you can see here all my historical information, all the data that I still have, even leave while I'm actually working, like the ongoing sales quotes and ongoing sales orders. I have 5 sales orders with this customer. He can ask me at any moment while I'm quoting this document about, he can ask me about information about other sales orders. So here is the information actually. You can click on any of the GDS document. For every of these lines is one sales order. Okay, so well, I'm gonna just focusing on what are the actual references, just in case your customer asks. And then after the negotiation is finished, the sales quote for me is just a draft document. It's not the real operation, or this doesn't mean that I will be sending now immediately the product just because the customer like it or confirm it. What I'm just doing here is that I'm just finalizing my negotiation, but this is just a quote. Like I mentioned, it's just a draft document. What I'm going to do now is just click here, make order. This is in reference to the actual a procedure of having a place where you can create sales orders or sales quotes just as a reference, and you can just leave them there for any other time where you want to operate. But if you click on make order, now this is a firm sales order. So this is a legal document to deliver now the actual lamps, and then later at this point, if the expected date, let's just verify, was requested as well. Here your customer now could do and could add more information. The sales order has more information than the quote. In this example, where do you want the shipment? Okay, when? You can ask to your customer at this point, or when will be the request delivery date? Okay, so I'm going to mention it, that will be today, and this is going to tell you, do you want to modify all your lines? Every line could have a different delivery date if you want. Okay, so some of the additional features that a sales order has. that the actual information in the quote is not there. Now as well, while we are selling, we can verify before we sell, what is the available credit that we have? The credit limit was 10,000. So well, I have surpassed in my demo, well, the actual credit limit. Verify with your manager at this point what is going on. And then, well, just your previous information, the availability of the inventory, the quantity per unit measure, substitutions, etc., etc. Nothing is actually out of our side. When we are working in the sales world, we need to have all the information, if you know what I'm saying. So, well, just additionals like the profit of this specific sales order, okay? The unit price 54. And if I just prepare the sales operation, this is something that any other ERP offers you, the actual profit for every sales. And here you, as a sales processor or salespeople, you can measure how are you performing at this point, even before actually selling. So I have prepared this sales order. Now, another feature that I would like to show is that whenever, well, I just need to, let's say, to release this. Release means that I have finalized my negotiation. I convert from a quote to a real purchase order. And what I want to do is just send it to the warehouse because I need to prepare a shipment. That's what the releasing procedure is. And look at my status in my sales order. What I'm going to do is just click on release. Let me show you this and look at how it changed. Great. But as well, I could reopen it just in case I know if I had committed a mistake before sending it to the customer and to the warehouse. Okay, everything is connected in Business Central. So what do we do and why, which scenarios this would be necessary? Well, we would sometimes need the approval request from your manager, let's say. So you can ask him, hey, I have finalized my negotiation with a customer for a land. This will be the profit, maybe. But you could, sometimes you need to send to approval. It depends. So, well, we could work together at this point. And as well, you could send the email confirmation for the sales order. Now, but this is a real order, a real email confirmation. You can print it or create a pick instruction at the warehouse. Okay, different options that we have. Normally, well, before releasing it, if it's necessary, you could send it to approval for your manager. As well, we can use the flow technology, which is a feature that we have in Power Automate here in Business Central. The Power Automate technology is actually a tool that we can connect to Business Central now in order for us to prepare our own applications, connections to other systems. Let's just verify some examples, and this is 100% related to sales operations. Sometimes I need to, for instance, send emails, or for every sales, I want to connect to Twitter or save in Dropbox or connect to Outlook. So we have a lot of connectors, okay, for all these different services. Look at popular services, information, okay, even Excel. But the idea is that sometimes whenever, for instance, I create a sales order, you can see an example here where you need to post a tweet, okay, using Twitter. So let's say I have created a survey in CRM. Do you remember that I told you that we have connection with campaigns? Okay, why not to post now through Twitter a campaign that I create and then connect those campaigns and design of discounts and promotions and whatever we have done to our actual sales orders here in Business Central. Okay, that's the idea. Now, that is why sometimes we request this type of approvals. So just to mention an example. Now, it's not that difficult at this point. We are just focusing on the sales side. So what I'm going to do is just release it. Meaning that at this point, the warehouse is going to be then should now act for us after this negotiation in order to prepare the shipment. Now, what I'm going to do is just ship this, and I'm going to click on OK. And look at what I'm going to do now. I have the quantity shipped This means that at this point, the warehouse is the items. Then the quantity to invoice. After you ship the items from your warehouse, then we are going to now do the second step, which is the invoicing process. All right. So let's just remember that after the approval workflow when it's needed, then we just release it, okay? Or when the approval workflow is created and approved, then your order will be automatically released. Remember, either your manager, if necessary, or your CRM or your promotion designer could actually review and release then the order if necessary. Now, what I'm going to do is do the final step, which is just ship and then, invoice just the shipment that I have just sent. Okay, this is when, well, of course, you have shipped the item, and then at the end, they accepted the item, so everything was good. 20 items were accepted by your customer, etc., and then we just can actually just send our own invoice, okay? And in this example, we are just you could generate at the printer at the same time while you email at the same time, okay? You select what you want to do, print, email, or both at the same time. I'm going to include now because I don't have a printer connected, just an email with a PDF attached document, even combined other shipments in one, other sales operations if they were not just sent in one simple action. So everything is, you can see, automated, fully automated. So look at this. I have the chronos. I have information about the sales operation. This is another email that I just generate. And here, just play with PayPal. Okay. If that's not required, well, that will be cash on delivery. It could be, by credit debit card and whatever. So just to mention, I have my PayPal account actually. That's the idea is that whenever we want, let me just show the source document. As well, for the customer, you have a sales invoice, which is our source for this email. You can actually review it, come back to Business Central, review the information. This is coming from our original quote, from an order, and then just having and showing the total for 1,028. Okay, at this point, if you want, you could even print it as well, just directly from here without having to send it, and just to maybe save it in your computer. Some different options that we have according to the actual process. So see, this will be the actual layout. We generated the invoice with your actual logo. Maybe your layout is not even related to your company image. So we can just change this type of documents, invoices, shipments, etc. Here, well, my PayPal integration, the phone, the contact, everything now related for me, so that my customer can call me, review any information, the invoice, the shipment, anything. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for your time. Hopefully this has been helpful for you, and see you then next time.
Hi, Noah. Savila Luke is asking if you could show an example for batch processing, review, and posting of invoice as opposed to sale operation posting transaction.
Great. Yes, actually I'm saying this. How show an example for batch processing, review, and posting of invoices as opposed to sales operation. Let me try to get into this. Like invoicing in one single, all these shipments maybe that I have in one. Thinking of the answer or the question here for me, let's say that we want to invoice everything. I'm going to generate one invoice, but let me give you an example of this. Oh, by the way, I have added some help. So every time you click on something, Business Central is going to give you information for the actions that we do. Okay, now I have a sales invoice. Let's say that we have a, okay. Sometimes our customers doesn't really require, do not actually require us to just ship or an invoice one-to-one document. We need to review a batch. Let's say Let me just verify one customer that I could find with different sales operations to invoice everything in one moment, so you can verify everything. Actually, I'm trying to answer the question because I would like to know what is the batch, or if you could give me a further description of what is, how you are actually, how would you prepare a batch for your sales procedures, so I could help more. I mean, a batch could mean different things. For instance, okay, what I wanted to just to mention is that I will generate one single invoice. And then review. Oh, sorry. Yes, of course. No problem. Now I get it. I was going to show another example that is not related to the actual answers. To the actual question. Yes. Well, first of all, we have an approval workflow. We do this type of actions through approval workflows. We have workflow templates. Let me just show you. Okay, a different type of workflows exist in Business Central to make reviews, actually, of any type of a document, not only sales. Just to mention the functionality. Let's say that you want to verify your journals for finance or payments, even by line, or look at this by batch. So your people, instead of registering or posting, well, they will be working normally just like I did, but behind the scene, they will require a review before actually registering the information into the finance process, even for general journals. So they will be working normally, they pause, they register, but the final figures will not be shown until the approver actually shows it. So we have that functionality for purchase and payables, and sales and marketing, sales documents, where we have different types of reviews. Credit limits, customers when you create them, new customers, new items, new prices that you want to define, and they will go through an approval process. And for this, then we have, for all these documents, for invoices, only specific invoices, sales orders, they are different. I mean, the sales order helps us to actually manage warehousing and inventory procedures, and then we generate like the shipment, like the review of the availability and all that stuff that we have shown. But the sales invoice is just the final figure, so we can get a payment, all right? But it's just more financial, and they are linked, of course. Then the credit limit and sales quotes if you want. So we just enable one of these processes. And then we are just going to finalize this with mentioning that your, for instance, I have a setup for finance and customer credits, the actual workflows, okay? So what we do, just to mention it to answer this question, is that we have the credit limit as an example. This could be your sales order approval workflow if you want it. Tell me what you want to review, or just the actual document before posting it, and then we define who will be the people that will be approved. Is this going to be a salesperson, purchaser, an actual approver in your headquarters maybe, or as well a workflow user group, let's say. So you can define, for instance, I have different groups of approvers, one for jobs, this is for project management, retail, let's say for my stores. Sometimes, well, in the POS, you just sell, okay? No, this is for another type of operation, but wholesaling process, let's say, wholesaling that might require a specific group of people, maybe by amounts, whatever, you would require a hierarchy of approvers, and then all this will be reviewed by any user. So I have Alan's could review. You can select your people, your team of people, and they have a sequence, and myself, well, I'm the admin, all right? So the sequence 1, 2, 3, if necessary. or as well by amount. So Alan's will be approving after a specific amount of sale and blah, 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 right? So at the end, they will be checking that function. All right. So that's part of the function. I would need to prepare a demo for workflow, but just to mention for now this, okay? Hopefully this is a kind of helpful as well. We have other webinars for just to check the approval workflow functionality. So hopefully that helps a little for now. We have the approval workflow where we send in batches, somebody reviews if necessary, or just without having a review, we just generate at night automatically the posting procedures, so your system doesn't get slow and so. So we have two types of batches process. Okay, for posting, because the system is slow, we just send it to be posted at night, or by approval workflow if you need a review from a specific team of people. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much for your time.